Hello and welcome to this edition of A Conversation With. I'm Jim Marshall of the New Bedford Cable Network, and in studio today, my friend Michelle Hantman. She is the president and CEO of the United Way of Greater New Bedford. It's great to see you.
It's great to see you too.
Summertime of 2025. Lots going on, and we'll get into details about that. And one thing that I think too is most people think of the United Way is, we have you guys on during the holidays. You guys do tremendous work there. But it's a year-round thing.
Absolutely.
And the summertime is also a time of great need for so many people in the communities. How are you guys doing?
Well, I would say we're doing great. We have a great team. We have so many dedicated individuals that come into work every day, motivated and smiling and determined to do what is needed to serve the community. So I feel very fortunate to lead a great team of people who are doing great work, whether it's people in the administrative team or our Family Resource Center staff. I mean, we have a really awesome team of people working at United Way. We are busy year-round, and I think you're right. I don't think people realize that. I think that is also part of what's shifted for United Way as an organization, not just locally, but United Ways everywhere.
Well, the needs have changed.
The needs have changed
over the years.
So the work has to change too, right?
Yep.
If we just stayed the same organization that we were, we probably wouldn't have survived, and we probably wouldn't be doing a very good job, right? I think what makes the work important is because it's always evolving to adapt to the needs of the community, and that ebbs and flows with the season. It ebbs and flows with lots of different factors. So, with the summer certainly brings, like our mobile markets start this week. Mobile markets will run from now until the beginning of October. And those are essentially free farmers markets that we are bringing to neighborhoods. And you're right. I mean, it's at a time where kids aren't getting the same sort of
the breakfast and lunch that they're getting in schools. Yeah.
That's right. And the beauty of the mobile market is it's fresh produce. It's organic produce grown at the Sharing the Harvest Community Farm at our partner organization, the YMCA Dartmouth. And people can come and get amazing produce, and we know how expensive groceries are anyway. Never mind produce, never mind organic produce. So to be able to go into neighborhoods, bring this amazing, nutritious product to people is one of the things we're super proud of. This is our 11th year of doing it. I think back to when it started, it was one of those things like, a grant opportunity came up for an innovative idea around food security, and I had heard about these mobile markets on a visit to something I did in Boston, and I remember coming back to United Way of New Bedford, talking to the board and saying, it'd be really cool if we did this. And, right, of course it's cool, but you need to find the resources, the ways to do it, and then this opportunity came to go for this grant. We got it, and here we are 11 years later doing it, and now we're sourcing it in other ways. We're very fortunate to have the support of South Coast Health and Bank 5 that not only sponsor the markets but also provide a big group of volunteers to staff those
There's
markets.
been such a push for fresh food too. You see other organizations, and I know Rep. Schmid, when he was the state rep in Westport, he was pushing that too. But there has been a real emphasis on trying to get fresh produce, fresh food to local communities.
Absolutely. Well, I think so our Hunger Commission program has been around since the mid-90s. And even when I came to United Way in a different role in the early 2000s, the Hunger Commission's work was, just as important as it is today, but the types of product that we were rescuing and then delivering to pantries, the quality of that food wasn't quite the same. We were, we were getting calls from local, the BJ's, the supermarket saying we have, coffee cake and muffins and cupcakes and things like that. And
which are great. Listen,
great.
I love those.
We all like that, right? But the when I think back to the quality versus quantity of what we were moving and what we were putting in front of our partners, the quality wasn't there. And then when United Way really started to make a shift around health, we said, okay, we really need to be, standing by that. And so that it does mean not saying yes to everything that is sometimes donated or being offered to us.
Right.
So that push for nutritionally dense food, more local or regional food, produce, right? That is what makes a better diet. We all know this. Same thing even
but
goes...
But you talk about that even when you're collecting food during the holidays.
Yeah, that's right.
You're not looking for...
all the canned stuff.
Correct.
Right.
You're looking for fresh...
That's right. we're looking for specific things, right? Like protein dense, like we want, sometimes when we're doing food drives, we want canned fish, we want canned chicken, we want peanut butter, we want rice, beans, we want things like that that are more shelf stable and have a better quality versus high sodium, the canned soup. I mean, I think back to putting food in a bin growing up, right, at church.
Right.
And it was usually a lot of high sodium canned stuff. Right?
Spam.
And spam, right? Which, hey, that's a delicacy in Hawaii. But anyway, that's not really the case anymore. And I think that that's a shift just on, we're smarter now. We know what's better. But it also does take a whole effort, right? Like even when you're giving something away or you're donating, like it should be of good quality. It should not just be something that you're looking to get rid of or something that's cheap.
And you've got a lot of, I know you showed me, but you've got a lot of locations for these.
So the mobile markets run in New Bedford, 2 locations that alternate in New Bedford. We have a South End and a North End at the Bank Fives. They host them in their parking lot for us. And then we also do it in Wareham. And in Wareham, we do it at the middle school on Viking Drive. So we alternate, and all of these dates are available on our Facebook and on our website. Also, if the weather gets not so good, we always tell people if you're planning to go to a mobile market, make sure you check our Facebook page. If the weather isn't great, we'll always post if we're going to postpone.
I don't think people realize too how widespread the organization is as far as communities that you serve. I mean, you mentioned Wareham and New Bedford, but you cover a large population area. It's
the city of New Bedford and then the 8 surrounding towns between Dartmouth and Wareham.
Yeah.
So that's our service area. And the Hunger Commission actually goes a little bit beyond that because we are serving quite a few pantries in the Greater Fall River area through the Hunger Commission program. But as a United Way, our focus is Greater New Bedford.
And again, those are for people anywhere in those communities to go see it.
You know what the original point of the mobile market was actually to really target people who were working and couldn't make it to a pantry during those traditional pantry hours, right? And now we have some pantries that are open more frequently, but there was a time where pantries were open. It was like this Tuesday of the month
9 to noon.
9 to noon, or this Thursday, all day, and very specific. And so this really was there to meet the need for people who were still struggling, but couldn't get to the pantry because they were working. So that's why we're doing it in the evening, really in the more traditional off work hours. But really it is there for anybody. But we always say if you can get to a pantry, that's probably where you need to continue to plan.
Because you can get more food too.
You can get more,
absolutely.
Whereas the mobile market is really meant to kind of fill that gap for people.
One of the things you guys are doing too is the Changemaker grants, which are starting this summer, starting in July.
Starting very soon, actually. We are opening the application on July 14th. This is formally called the Community Building Mini Grants Program, kind of a mouthful. So we did rebrand it a few years ago because we really think Changemaker really embraces the spirit of what this is all about. It's to support small, all volunteer grassroots groups. So these are not necessarily legal entities, 501c3s. This can just be a group of neighbors who have a great idea to do something for their community or to do something for their neighborhood. There are really a lot of neat projects that have come out of the mini grants. We've now, since 1995, we have funded, it's like over 500 projects. And sometimes they're just a one-off thing. Sometimes these projects go on for a bit. But there are some projects that have become full-fledged nonprofits, right? Like on my way over to you, I saw Youth Opportunities Unlimited on my drive over. That started as a mini grant called Trips for Kids by a local woman who had this idea about getting kids on bikes, getting them to explore the surroundings, but not only learn how to ride a bike, learn how to take care of their bike, etc. And then that has now evolved into an awesome organization.
How are you doing as far as usually when you do these applications wise? Because it seems like and I'm generalizing here, but applications, people don't know when the applications, or they don't, I wish I had known.
Right.
How are you guys doing with that? Because this program's been around for a while.
This one has been going for a while. So we now do this one, we offer it 2 rounds a year, whereas for a while we were doing it just annually. I will say that since COVID, the amount of applications that we've gotten for Changemakers has shrunk a little bit. And I'm not sure why that is, right? I'm not sure if it's because people are just kind of in a different state of mind. I'm not sure. We're doing the same thing. We're also trying to promote it more widely. And we also want people to know that this is for, the group that maybe does the bake sales and the car washes, and they've done all they can do in that area. This is to provide you like good seed money to get your project off the ground.
And I just want for people to think about, because I think it's interesting, the difference between the Changemaker grants, which are going on, versus the community impact grants, which have recently wrapped up.
Correct.
People say, oh, it's a grant of, same, similar name. What's the difference?
Yeah, very different. So as I said, Changemakers are for all volunteer groups, and they're mini grants, right? We're talking up to $2,500.
Right.
The community impact grants are our larger grants, $10,000 to $25,000. And these are going to the more traditional nonprofit organizations that are delivering programs in health, financial security, youth, after school programs. The things that when people think, oh, United Way supports this, that's usually the traditional community impact grant. And that's evolved over the years too, right? Like we've refined our focus a little bit more. There's a little bit more of a stringent process for the applicants. But we did just wrap that up, and we're looking forward to actually putting the cohort together in a couple weeks and welcoming them as our new
Which is, it's interesting because I think grants sort of run together and people don't know what the differences is, but I think that's a good way of putting it too. The Changemaker grants though, how many do you think you'll be awarding?
I don't know. I mean, traditionally we would award 18 to 20 something a year. Yeah. Last year we did about half of that.
Really?
Yeah. So this year we're going to promote the heck out of it. People are going to watch us and hopefully come up with a great idea. But we're also trying to get out there more on the ground and sharing this widely, because it really is a unique opportunity. Like there is no other funding opportunity like this of its kind.
Oh no,
right?
No, you're right.
Like usually you have to be a 501c3 or you have to have a fiscal sponsor that is a legal entity. That's not what this is. It is a reimbursement grant. So that means, you have to put some money in and then you quickly get reimbursed. But these are for small projects.
Have you seen over the years, I was going to say, you must have seen so many different things that you would never have thought of as a Changemaker grant. I mean, there's people might say, well, what are you talking about? I mean, it could be anything, and I don't think people know.
But I'll give a great example. I think one of the a great success story we have of this program is Operation Clean Sweep, right?
Yeah.
So before Operation Clean Sweep became like what it is today, which is now 20 plus years of like this core group of volunteers that recruit.
It's huge.
It's huge. I mean, it's a huge effort, and the city supports it and partners with it, and it's really become a self-sustaining program that continues. But it started as a mini grant, right? So the first set of gloves, rakes, bags that they needed all came through a mini grant. And maybe if we hadn't made that initial investment, maybe they wouldn't have really gotten off the ground.
And the thing is too, is you're not looking to have them keep coming back either. No. It's the seed money to get it started that they can get on their feet and then keep going.
That's right. Or again, going back to Trips for Kids, now Youth Opportunities Unlimited, what began as Trips for Kids as a mini grant however many years ago, we're now supporting Youth Opportunities Unlimited as an impact grant.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So that kind of shows you the full circle of how that program grew, how that organization grew, how they are on a more sustainable path. And we're still supporting it, and we haven't supported it consecutively all these years, but as they've evolved, our support to that organization has also evolved.
First of all, I give you credit being so cool and collective here today. It is hot in the
studio.
It's
very hot.
It's hot in the studio.
Yes,
I've never felt like that. You've been doing, I'm like, she is so cool and calm over there. It's hot. One thing that you and I were talking about off camera, but I think is a good thing, is you guys have at the United Way focused on economic mobility for residents. Yes. And there was a couple of stats that I thought were interesting.
Yep.
51% of the people in the community earn less than $50,000 a year. Mm-hmm. And 19%, I rounded up because it's pretty small, live in poverty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are hard facts.
Those are hard numbers to digest locally. And growing up, $50,000, you'd think, oh, wow, that's a great
seemed
amount of money.
Pretty good, right?
And, a family of four.
That's right. And the way things are.
Yeah.
Right, costly.
Talk about, and I think this has been a change for the United Way.
It's been a shift or an evolution.
So
of
talk
sorts.
about how you're addressing the economic mobility and the differences in what people can do. Because I think part of it is, when we're kids, you learn to, can't spend more than what you have. Yeah. You got to have a plan.
We don't all learn that though.
No,
Even
but
that,
I mean,
that's a basic lesson, right?
Right, but you can't spend more. So talk about what the United Way is trying to do right now to help that.
Sure. So I want to say this started almost 2 years ago now. I mean, we were supporting through some grant making some other programs that really were in this financial literacy realm, but we also realized that in our areas of focus, this was the area that we were getting the least amount of applications in, which means there are not many programs in this community that exist to support financial literacy. Okay. So that's really when we decided that we needed to fill the gap, because we don't want to fund a program and then deliver a service in the same thing, right? Like we want to fund things and do that. And then we want to do things that we can't fund.
But you want to make it, if you're going to do something, you want to make it sustainable too.
Absolutely, and we want to make sure we're filling a need.
Correct.
And money is kind of a taboo topic, right? I don't care where you come from or what kind of background you come from. Money is not something people always are very comfortable talking about.
I'm curious
right?
that even when it started, were people are you getting the thought of doing the financial literacy just by what people are saying to you, or was it just what you're seeing, you and the staff are seeing out there?
Well, I mean, in all honesty, being part of a United Way, even though we're an independent local organization, that everything we do stays local, we have the benefit of being part of something larger, right? United Way worldwide. So I always like to describe it as we have hundreds of brothers and sisters in every community in this country that are doing some pretty cool things. And so kind of paying attention to some of that programming is part of it. So some of what we're doing, we did not start. We saw it from afar. We became curious about it. We knew it could work here. We learned, and then we brought it here. So that's some of it. But it's also because we know that through the Family Center, right, which we operate.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You deal with a lot of people with financial issues.
We know the people that are coming to the mobile market, they're coming to the mobile market. There's a reason why they're coming to the mobile market, right? We know that people that are coming to the Family Center, that they might be coming because they were referred to us by, the guidance counselor at school or family court or whatever the situation is, DCF, and they're coming for certain things. But when you start to work with people, and there's a common denominator that sometimes is kind of threaded throughout a lot of challenges that present, right? They might present as one challenge, but then when you really peel the onion, it goes back to it's a mental health issue or it's a financial issue.
And
it's
a lot
financial
of people,
strain.
And a lot of people you deal with are working.
Yes,
it's not like they're.
Absolutely.
It's not like they're. They're down and out. But these people are trying to make a living.
That's right. That's right. A lot of people are doing the best they can with what they have.
Right.
But the truth is, even people who are doing, above those statistics that you shared, doesn't necessarily mean that they're making good money decisions.
Correct.
Right?
There's a difference. You're right. There's a difference between not having the money or not having enough.
Or having some and not doing.
And still not right.
Right?
Yep.
So we see some of this work as really, while yes, it meets our anti-poverty strategy and we see it as really wrapping around what we've always done, we also see this as something larger. We see it as something that really anybody can benefit from. So we're doing this in a couple of ways. We have a program called Financial Wellness at Work, which is actually partnering with workplaces. So we're in 6 different companies in the area where we have a staff person who's been trained and who is essentially almost like an extension of their HR team, right? Mm-hmm. Because sometimes HR is dealing with what they're dealing with, but they don't necessarily want to know all the things that that person is really dealing with, right? Mm. And a lot of times it could be, it's a financial issue, right? Like their car broke down and they had to get a ride to work because they can't afford to get their car repaired or the new tires or whatever it is. So where Financial Wellness at Work comes in, it's having somebody who is equipped to handle those types of situations with people, help them navigate it. It also, we partner with Taunton Federal Credit Union to offer very quick turnaround emergency loans so that people are able to get their situation, the car repair fix, the tires, whatever it is,
Right.
so that they can get back to work the next day, right? So the employers see this as a retention strategy and a way to, show their people that they care and that they're looking out for their whole well-being. And these individuals are building their credit by doing this, and they're getting the access to resources that they necessarily weren't going to find on their own. So that's the Financial Wellness at Work program. Then we have Financial Wellness for Women, which we just graduated 15 women a couple weeks ago. Altogether, in the past year, we've graduated almost 50 women that have gone through this program. They are paired with a mentor, a volunteer who's there to support them. We're always looking for volunteers for this. We're always looking for volunteers in general.
That's
so
true.
If you want to volunteer, call me and I will find something for you to do. But this takes women through a 10-week course where they're learning basic budgeting.
And that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
There are classes for people.
Oh, yeah.
If somebody comes in and says, Michelle, I don't know what I'm doing,
Yeah.
can they get a class?
Absolutely. So a 10-week class, and they're getting also the support of somebody who's helping them stay accountable to their goals, checking in on them, being that support. But my favorite part of this program is I always go to the graduation, and everybody has to stand up and share kind of like their biggest takeaway. And you hear these women talk about how my credit score went up exponentially, like X amount of points. I consolidated my debt. I got rid of my debt. I've started a savings account to buy a house, like whatever it is. But they all walk in with one thing and they leave just with a completely
So you're
different
seeing,
outlook.
even though this is a new sort of strategy for you guys, new part of a new entity, you're seeing the results now and you're seeing the interest. That's the thing.
Absolutely, yes. And I wish we could do it for way more people, but because it is so, especially with the program for women, we do a one-to-one mentor. So if we could get 100 volunteers to mentor, then we probably could get 100 women to participate.
Yeah.
But we also see this as something to be a high quality, meaningful experience. So there's something about that sweet spot of the 15 people. But also you hear at the end, some of the coaches, the mentors will come out saying, I learned something that I didn't know. And these are women who have good careers. Some of them may be retired from whatever their industry. We've had small business owners, and everybody that participates, whether they're the initial participant or the mentor, they all say, I walk away learning
But
so much
and the thing
more.
is too is that, like, every situation is different. So trying to come up with the solution for that particular person
Right.
is new.
Is
It's
new.
a challenge.
Yep.
And I think that's a good thing too, because then that's one thing, then the mentors can, when they talk to each other down the road, oh, I experienced that. Here's what I did to help them out.
Exactly.
So in a sense, yeah, they are learning, because what your situation is totally different from mine. And,
That's right.
And
our Financial Wellness for Women program was really, we built it from the ground up. Our team, volunteers, as well as I think we had 5 or 6 different local financial institutions who lent us people from their staff at all different levels, who helped us create the curriculum, helped us build the presentations. Like, this was literally created locally by local people who do this work. And the banks see this as very complementary to what they're doing, right?
Well, you need help. I
Right.
mean, you can't do it on your own. You need that help from the community, whether it be a company or somebody who's in the financial background that can help up. It doesn't work unless you have those people.
Yep, exactly. And the Financial Wellness at Work program, it's been around in United Way land for about 20 years. We are the first United Way in Massachusetts to do it, so I'm pretty proud of that. The closest United Way that was doing it was in Vermont, so they kind of served as our kind of mentor as we created and developed it and implemented it here in New Bedford.
I didn't know there was United Way land. That's interesting.
I call it United Way land.
We got about 4 minutes left. I want to get a broad discussion right now for a couple of minutes at least. When you look at things right now from your standpoint, you always need money. You always need donations. You need volunteers. How does it look?
That's my tiny violin that plays all day long.
No, but how does it look for you right now? Because it seems the pool of money is getting smaller.
Sure.
There's certainly the need is, I assume it's growing. It seems to be, but I don't know. I mean, you know the numbers. How does this organization, which has been around forever, and
almost 75 years.
it has been such an institution in New Bedford, do you have to pivot the way things are going to, are you looking at this year and I don't know if you go by calendar year or fiscal year, do you say, all right, we've got to change the way we're doing things this year because of X.
Yeah, there's definitely always some forecasting that is involved. I can't say that we're any more concerned for the year to come that the difference between United Way and a lot of other organizations that give money away is that we have to raise the money every year, right? Like we literally start from zero every year, and then depending on how well we do and what we raise helps us determine what we're giving out. Right?
But the pool seems to be getting smaller.
The pool of where that money is coming from is what has certainly shifted for United Ways, right? Like, and this is more specific to United Ways in the sense of, when you probably first learned about United Way ages ago, it was about people giving through their paycheck. It was about companies supporting.
When I worked at this radio station, that we were
right, and that is. Still something that we do. It's still a big part of what we do. But if you were to look at our pie, it's a sliver of the pie now.
It's a smaller pie,
right, absolutely.
Smaller piece.
Because there are less companies in the area, there are less people at those companies. We have less access to people in companies. People work remotely. People telecommute all day long.
Yeah.
People work for companies locally but live in different states. So that kind of connection of what was United Way to that corporate sector and how we raise money has changed dramatically. So that has forced us to evolve, diversify our revenue model. And we raise money in a lot of different ways now, right? Like our family center is funded through the Department of Children and Families. Yes, there are supplemental dollars that we raise through private donations and foundations to provide, extra services and whatnot. But the core program is funded through the state, right? That is something that way back in the day, that's not something United Ways would do. Right. And then some of these other programs, our Financial Wellness for Women program is made possible through our Women United, which is our women's philanthropic initiative. We're finding ways of doing things that are different, but it also means you're kind of like slicing and dicing things differently, right?
Well, no, but it seems we got a minute left, but but the thing is, like, I would think that. And I understand you have to do it, but missing that communication, the one-on-ones has to affect you too, because it makes you get to see people.
Absolutely.
And then you have more people that could help you.
Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of wonderful organizations out there, right? And I know that everybody gets asked to give in the mail, on the street, wherever. I always say to people, give where you live, give where your heart is, but make sure that you know the organization, you can trust the organization, you can see their work in action.
Well, that's, I think, a big thing for you guys is that your work is seen every day.
I hope
and
so.
you may not see it, you may not know it.
This is true.
But
we're in the background sometimes,
correct.
a lot of times.
Yeah. It's great seeing you.
Thank
a lot
you.
going
Great to
on.
see you.
If people have any questions,
they can visit our website. They can call
the website
me
is
or
great.
Anybody on my team. We're always happy to connect people with resources or talk to people about their interests.
The website's great.
Thank you.
New stuff,
Yeah.
new faces, new pictures for everybody and everything.
We got new pictures.
Very professional.
Thank you.
That's going to do it for this edition of our Conversation With. I'm Jim Marshall of the New Bedford Cable Network. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon.